I'm here with Bo Andersson in Moscow, and I'm a business editor for Just Auto from the UK, and I'm here to talk to Mr. Andersson about his recent role with AvtoVAZ. Obviously, he knows the Russian market extremely well with his time at Nizhny Novgorod with Gaz, and it will be, I'm sure, a fascinating interview to see how he has adapted to one of Russia's largest companies. So, Mr. Andersson, thank you for giving me some time. Can I just start by asking you why you were so attracted to the AvtoVAZ job? You had a very good job with Gaz. What was the main reason for the move?
I mean, first, I didn't apply for the job. Secondly, I had a very good time at Gaz, and Mr. Deripaska himself took very good care of me. But third, after a couple of questions and to join AvtoVAZ, I decided to do it for one reason: pure image. This is a company that has suffering for a long time. Many organizations have tried to improve the performance. First Fiat, secondly GM, third Magna, and lately Renault. And so far no one made it, so that's why I was attracted.
So it was a challenge?
I always look for a challenge. And
so when you moved from Gaz to AvtoVAZ, did that cause a lot of friction, a lot of unhappiness with the Gaz group?
Yes and no. I would say first, I committed to Mr. Deripaska and Siggy Wolf as the chairman of the board that I would do everything to finish off 2003 in a successful way, and I also promised to do the business plan for the next 5 years, plus doing the 2014 business plan in detail. So for me it felt much easier to do it that way. Everyone understood that I should stay to the end of the year. Everyone understood that I only had one job, and it was to finish the year successfully, doing the business plan and doing the budget for the full year. And I could make a lot of tough calls where I felt that we didn't get enough investment and we didn't have the right opportunities to have a successful 2014 since I was leaving. And personally I felt I had support of the team, and they also used me to get the funding necessary for some of the vehicles you saw today.
Do you have regrets about leaving Gaz?
Absolutely not. First, I can tell you leaving GM after 20 years was extremely difficult, but I felt it was the right thing to do. Deripaska offered me the opportunity, I took it, and I became a much better manager and a much better man. After 5 years at Gaz, I felt it was a good time to leave, and Gaz Group has a very strong team. I'm happy that Vadim Sorokin, as one of my lieutenants, replaced me, and I'm ready for a new challenge.
Right. Have you imported the Gaz techniques to AvtoVAZ?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Can you give me some examples of what you've done?
I mean, one example is that at Gaz, every morning we started in the factory at 8 o'clock. At AvtoVAZ, we start at 7 o'clock. And we have the same 5 questions. What is the production plan for today? What was the quality yesterday? What are the problem suppliers? What are the problem issues in purchasing and logistics? And how many vehicles are we going to sell today? Format a little bit different, but one of the first things I did at AvtoVAZ, that is the largest automotive site in the world. We divided the plant into 12 plants. So we have 6 vehicle assembly plants inside the plant. But each plant has now a new leader, and he is responsible for quality, volume and cost for that subsection. And then we have 6 component operations like stampings, plastic shop, gearbox, engine, castings. So I divided a very big animal into 12 pieces.
Right.
And I let each manager manage his piece, and each manager report out every morning to me at 7 o'clock.
Do you still make them stand up?
Still make them stand up, because the meeting should be maximum 10 minutes.
And is it?
It is 10 minutes. And if we have issues, I only go with that manager to his operations and look at the issues, if it's body shop or it's paint shop or whatever. But the standard report out is 10 minutes.
Do you think you shocked them with your methods when you came to AvtoVAZ?
Yes.
Yes. You did at Gaz as well, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And have they warmed to you? Have they taken your message on board?
I would say if you take AvtoVAZ, we have 2 sites. But in Togliatti we have 66,000 people. 45,000 people are in manufacturing. What they tell me, I'm the second general director that goes to the plant. The only one before me was the founder that founded the business in 1974, and he is still a hero. But I'm the second general director that actually myself go to the plant, and I go every day.
You live in Togliatti?
I live in Togliatti.
Okay. Did you buy a house there?
I live in a house that is owned by AvtoVAZ, but I live there, and as I said in the conference today, it's my 69th day in AvtoVAZ and my 67th day in Togliatti.
When I interviewed you before, you said that President Putin called you a smart guy. Do you think he's a smart guy?
Yes, I think.
Do you still see him? You still?
I've not talked to him lately, but I still think that he's extremely intelligent and is a good strategist.
Okay. Are you happy with the strategy of the Russian government towards the automotive industry?
I would say what I have seen the last 5 years is the foundation that was laid to have 80% of the products sold in Russia, produced in Russia, was absolutely right.
Is there anything that you would rather the government do as well to help you in your business?
I mean, we talked about it in the conference today. There's still a lot of bureaucracy that is unnecessary. I would say that's the biggest thing. Very bureaucratic, very slow, but I see it changing as well.
Okay. What about the potential for foreign suppliers to come in and work with you? Are you looking for more overseas investment in AvtoVAZ?
Yes and no. I mean, what I did at GAZ and what we do at AvtoVAZ as well, if we can do things in-house, we have one of the best plastic shops, we do all instrument panels ourselves, we do all door trims, we do all fascias. I think we can do more plastic products. There are other areas where we need help, maybe seats, maybe exhaust systems, maybe stamping, but what I've seen in Russia is there is typically not a very good supply base, either foreign or domestic, and one of the quickest things is just insource it yourself, because we have the buildings, we have the people, we have the machines, and then you save logistic cost.
Okay. Is that working for you already?
We have started that approach at GAZ. It took us a couple of years to do it, but we have started the approach.
Okay. What about headcount? I know that at GAZ you were you let a lot of people go, and I don't think you made yourself very popular by doing that. Are you prepared to do that again?
We already did it at AvtoVAZ, and I did it the second week when I was there. So we laid off 20% of our managers and specialists, and we laid off 10% of our workers. If I would do it again, I would do 40% of managers and specialists and none of the workers.
When I met you last time, we talked to the trade union guy that was there. Are you equally having a good relationship with the unions in AvtoVAZ?
I think so.
Okay. No,
too early to say.
It's too early, yeah, exactly.
But I'm meeting with them, I'm talking to them. I have had a very good start with our governor. He has visited me twice. I'm telling him exactly as it is. I have a very good working relationship with the mayor. But union, too early to say, but what I believe in is full transparency. I have no hidden agenda. What I've started to do at AvtoVAZ is every third week we meet all top 500 managers for 3 hours.
500?
All top 500 managers. To just cascade that the message comes from me and is not getting filtered. And the 13 vice presidents, they are reporting out on their priorities, very short. And what I did the second time shocked them a little bit, because the first meeting I highlighted our problems and our need for solutions. And then I said, 3 weeks from now, each vice president will stand in front of you, so vice president of sales, vice president of purchasing, vice president of production, and explain his plan. And I will give you an electronic voting device, and you will have a chance to vote on 5 questions. Is the vice president working on the right issues? Is it the right plan? Is it the right metrics? Is it the right people? Is it the right deadline? And it was a shock. First, they didn't believe me. But secondly, I rented the equipment from Europe, so I had it flown in, and we used it. And some of the vice presidents got very good rankings, some got very bad rankings, and then I had them rework the plans and came back again, and they said, why no voting device? I said, I did it once, I don't need it a second time. So people didn't understand my message. I just want to do it once. I don't need to do it again.
Is that your idea, or has it come from GM? Or?
It was my idea.
Your idea, okay. Any other radical ideas you want to introduce to AvtoVAZ?
What we have started to do is we gave all of our top managers free suppliers. AvtoVAZ, we have a lot of problems with suppliers, many different reasons, and I introduced the supply champion system that we had at GM. In reality, it means that everyone get engaged in what type of issues do suppliers have. Most of the supplier issues are our issues as a parent. Some of them are there, but now I have all of our executives having 3 suppliers each, and they need to report out to me on a weekly basis what have they done and what did they learn. What I've learned so far is that a lot of issues are around logistics, a lot of issues are around scheduling, a lot of issues are around quality, but now everyone is engaged in supplier issues to support purchasing. They're not negotiating prices, but everyone understands the hassle a supplier has with AvtoVAZ, and they need to help us to find the solutions.
Okay.
So again, I believe in all the people all the time. And you asked before about manufacturing. When we had the 3rd meeting, I thanked the manufacturing leadership because they are now the flywheel, and they see that I'm working with them every day. They're getting more proud, they get better performance. As I said in my speech, yesterday we produced 2,022 vehicles. First time we made the production schedule 100%. And if you look at 2,022 vehicles, it's not any other plant in the world that can make that volume. At the end of the year, we will do close to 3,000 vehicles.
3,000 per day?
Per day.
Yeah, okay. 2013 was a very difficult year for the Russian market. Are you confident that Russia can ride this slight downturn, particularly given the current political unrest?
I think 2014 will be difficult, but you know, we need to prepare for the worst and plan for the best. What we did already in January, we reduced our production, plan by plan, to reduce our inventory, because when I came to AvtoVAZ we had a lot of inventory at dealers, so now we are reducing by 30,000 units. And then we introduced a production scheduling process where we really see what do we have at dealers' lot, what's selling, what's not selling, and that's what we produce. Okay. So a little bit radical, but I think 2014 will be difficult, but as a new guy at AvtoVAZ, it may work for me.
What language do you speak with your managers?
I speak English. Okay. Sometimes I speak German, but mainly English and German. I understand Russian, but I'm not fluent enough at all to speak Russian, and even if I were fluent, I don't think I would be effective.
Are they confident in speaking English to you?
Many are, others we speak through translators, but as you know, I'm short. I typically only ask for one thing, and I don't make it complicated.
Okay. What about the political situation in Ukraine? Is this something that you're nervous about?
Not really. First, from a business standpoint, last year we sold 6,800 vehicles in Ukraine. So 6,800 out of 500,000. So it's a marginal thing. Secondly, we have no manufacturing in Ukraine. Third, yes, from an economic standpoint, it makes people uncertain. It makes people less willing to spend money. So on one hand, the weaker ruble helps AvtoVAZ much more than any other car maker, but on the other hand, it makes people less willing to spend money on buying a car.
Are you seeing a pull through of people sort of at, advancing car purchases because of the uncertainty? Is that a temporary issue?
It's hard to say. I mean, we have heard from some dealers that people have money that they want to place, and that's why they car, but I think it's premature to say.
You mentioned Aeroflot in your speech. Is that a company that you look to as an example of how a Russian company can turn around?
I mean, I used to fly Aeroflot in the 70s, and I did it because it was convenient. I did it because it was inexpensive, but the quality was extremely bad. When I look at Aeroflot today, and I use Aeroflot when I fly to Moscow, extremely good people, extremely good attitude, extremely good image, and brand new airplanes. If I take Sparebank, not as famous outside Russia, but has done a fantastic job. So if they could do it, why not Lada?
Okay. And finally, Mr. Andersson, what about the potential for AvtoVAZ exports to traditional Western markets? Are you confident that your company will be able to do that?
I mean, export, as I said, we put in our plan that we will grow exports by 50%. Last year we exported roughly 80,000 vehicles, mainly to CIS. I see huge export potential for AvtoVAZ, but we need to do it in accordance to alliance. There is no benefit for us to sell vehicles in UK, Germany or France. There are a lot of benefits to us sell vehicles in the Nordic countries. There are a lot of benefits for us to sell vehicles in Eastern Europe. There's a lot of benefits for us to sell vehicles in North Africa and also Latin America. But in areas where Renault-Nissan is not that strong, and the Russian heritage is very strong, and the road conditions is similar to Russia. So is it easy? No. I think it's easy to say which market should we not sell to, and it's mainly Western Europe. Where should we go? I think it's rather easy. Then it's just how to do it, and how to do it in a cost-economically way.
And you're convinced that the brand Lada is something you can build on in terms of quality? And
I mean, I like history, as you know, and if you take Canada, I mean, Lada still has very strong character and image in Canada, because Lada used to be there for 40 years. I'm Swedish. Lada, if you talk to people in Sweden, Lada brand and especially Lada Niva has a very strong recognition. So yes, with the right product and with the right messages, we want to sell Lada to customers that want to have an affordable vehicle that can take tough road conditions, that is easy to repair, and affordable spare parts. In Russia, we don't talk about it, but many times our spare part prices are 3-4 times cheaper than normal Europeans.
Really?
And that's what we want it to be.
Yeah, okay.
And I say to the engineers, stay away from advanced technology, make it easy to repair, and we see in many export markets that's what people want.
Are you here for the long term? You had 5 years at GAZ. Are you here for, is this your last job, or is there another job in Mr. Andersson yet?
I would love to do this for the next 5 years, and I've signed up to do this for the next 5 years. So.
Okay. Mr. Andersson, thank you very much. Thanks.